You are now entering the Queen's Quarter. We are powerful, strong, and rulers in our own right. There's a queen in you, there's a queen in me. Every woman is a queen.
Hello, QQ royalty. Welcome back to Queen's Quarters. We missed you. We know we took 2 weeks off, but we are here. We thank you so much for your patience. We thank you for your continued support. And we are back with a wonderful new topic. So thank you for joining us on today. You know how we do. If you're new and you don't know, we'll do our roll call and introduce ourselves. I am Queen Tans. Welcome, and I represent the 40s Club.
Good afternoon. I'm Queen Emma, and I represent the Mature 60s Club.
Hello, everyone. I'm Queen T, representing the 50s Club.
Hello, I'm Queen Ty. I'm repping the 50s.
Hey, y'all. I'm Queen Nye, representing the 30s Club.
There you have it. This is all of Queen's Quarters representing for you today. And we're going to have our tea time now from our Queen T.
Well, I want to say welcome, everyone. Welcome, you newcomers. It is tea time with Queen T. Now, we're always talking about tea that gives us so many health benefits. But one of the downfalls of those teas is that it could have a herbal flavor. And not so great. So what we're going to talk about today is things that you can add to your tea to make it taste a little bit more flavorful. So you can add some mint, some berries, some strawberries. We talked about the honey, and you could do some maple syrup, some ginger, peppermint, just things that you can add to your tea to give it a good flavor and keep the health benefits. So come on in, get you a cup of tea, and let's see what's going on in Queen's Quarters today.
All right. Get your tea and come and join us. So our topic that we're going to talk about today is not necessarily disappointments, but how do we feel about our culture, our Black men dating other nationalities, be it Caucasian, Chinese, those different nationalities. How do we feel about that? And also, we're going to kind of tag team that with Black men that will not date Black women at all. So we're going to have kind of like a 2-in-1 topic. And, we're going to just go where we're flowing at this point. So ladies, I know we have some women here and some queens here that feel very strongly about this topic. Off air, we was getting into it. I was like, pause, let's go. Wait a minute. Let's do this on camera here. All right, so come on, let's flow. Let's go.
Listen, I'm going to be the first. I'm just going to say it the way I feel. Now, I know a lot of you out there in social media may not agree with me, and it's quite okay. But I'm going to say I do not agree with our men dating outside of their race. It's so many Black women that's powerful, that is articulate, that has degrees, careers. They have their own things going on, and they will make great wives. But our men are just going outside their race and outside our race, and they're dating other nationalities, and I don't understand why. So I wish we had a king to give us a little bit of input on why they do that. But I'm just going to say, I'm just going to start off, and I'm going to let somebody else jump in that I don't like it.
Well, I'm gonna add to it because I used to feel that way. I used to feel that way for a long time. I felt like, as a Black woman, I wanted to stand behind my Black men as well. But I see so many of our Black men going outside the race. It made me kind of curious. Not that I have actually dated one time outside my race, and that was when I was younger. He was an Italian guy, and we happened to go somewhere far, like by the waters. I forgot where we wound up going. But I had so many looks looking at us, and it felt so uncomfortable for me. Um and I felt like I was trading. I felt
You
like
was
I
a traitor.
was so I'm looking like, okay, this is not comfortable. He seen that I was not comfortable. He was like, you just want to go by the beach. I said, yeah, let's just go away from everybody. Let's just go by the beach. So that was kind of uncomfortable for me, and that was the only time I did try to date
And
out.
how long ago was that?
Huh?
How long ago was that?
Oh man, I was probably in my early 30s. I would say no, my late 20s. I was in my late 20s when that
Okay.
happened. But as time went on, no, I haven't dated outside my race. And I try to stick with my black brothers, but like I said, there's so many black guys that are dating outside the race. I'm at this moment open to accept outside of my race. I don't know about any um or um race, but I'm open to dating outside my race at this moment. I would date maybe a Indian, a Arab, a white. I'm open to that as of now.
I can kind of tag team with you on that fact of being it being a little weird. But with Emma, when Emma asked you the question as to when that was, because for me it was early 20s too, and I think that time frame because I went to New York too. We caught a Broadway show. We went to dinner, and he was a Caucasian male too. He was actually a lot older. I think I was in my early 20s, and he was like 40s.
Oh, I
Right.
got
So
this. Hold on.
yeah. And I kind of, I was in the hotel industry for a long time, and he was a constant, like he would fly in on a consistent basis and for business. And he just was there for one particular weekend and asked me to go, and I obliged. I said, all right, let's go. And it was really fun. And we actually kept in contact. It didn't work out, but we kept in contact and stuff. But when we were walking down the streets of New York City, I felt so many stares too. And I am like dark skinned black, and I mean he was like pale Caucasian, had little gray hairs and stuff. So I don't know necessarily if they was looking because of the age difference or looking because of the color, but it did feel uncomfortable. And like I just posed a question for Queen Ty, like, so when you told him let's go away from the people, that right there kind of probably in my eyes would have made him feel a little like, well, Dash, you don't even want to be seen with me, so
I think he's seen that I was uncomfortable with the stairs, and he knew that I've never dated outside my race. So this was something different for me. So I mean, and I guess he liked me that well for him to take that into consideration. But
well,
Let me
yeah.
throw a little monkey wrench into this. Because I've never dated outside of my race, only because I just haven't met anybody to date outside of my race. But I think in my mind that I would be open to it if I met a guy of a different culture or outside of my race. But let me ask you a question. Do you think maybe your nervousness or your seeing how people were reacting was based on your own insecurities, that you were dating somebody and people wasn't paying you no mind? And I'm saying that to say, have you ever been in a situation where somebody is like, don't be looking at me, and you saying to yourself like, nah, I really wasn't looking at you. I don't know. So maybe those people, like when you were at the beach or whatever, maybe those people really wasn't paying you no mind. They happened to be looking in your direction, and it was your insecurities about dating a person. Okay.
No, it wasn't. I didn't start feeling insecure until they was watching until they was looking at me.
Maybe they was looking at you. They was like, "How that old man get that fine young girl?" Maybe they was looking like
that. Was for Tansy, because the dude I was talking to one now. Oh, sorry. That was for her. but he wasn't that old. But no, it wasn't me being insecure. We were around mostly people that are not my color. We were around a lot of Caucasians, a lot of other race. So yeah, I felt that. I felt that. I've seen it, and he's seen it as well. So it wasn't just me. So yeah, I think something like that started making me feel uncomfortable. And you got to remember, like when I was 20, that was like back in 1990 something.
Right.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, that time frame.
The times is different now, and people
Oh,
see
so
it
different.
right. So people
Yeah.
see it more acceptable now because you would think that automatically comes with the territory. Like
Right.
when you're dating someone of a different nationality, especially back then, people were going to look at you automatically. So it's like something that you should have kind of expected.
Mm. Mm.
Well,
I don't know. I've never dated outside of my race, but I've dated some jerks. So the topic really should be, have you dated jerks versus nice people, regardless of what their color was,
Right,
Because,
right.
I mean, I don't know it to be so because, like I said, I've never dated outside of my race, but I can't imagine. Like I've dated some jerk regular black guys, so I would rather date a nice white guy or Italian guy or somebody outside of my race that was nice as opposed to some jerk black guy because I've had enough of those.
Yeah, I definitely feel you now because it's like I said. I guess times have changed, and yeah, I'm more open to it now. I'm definitely more open to it now.
I think that one of my issues is that I've heard a lot of men who don't date black women say that we're too voiceful, we're too opinionated. And see, my thing with that is some stuff that we do is just a cultural or a natural thing. Don't make it right, but it's just kind of cultural or natural. And it's like, but we're all still, as black women, we're still different. So give me a chance. Don't put like those type of men that won't date us because they feel like we're all a certain type of way. They have put us in a box together. Like you guys are all the same. And I think that's one of my issues I have with our men dating outside their race because y'all haven't really given us a chance. And then far as a good man, I heard what Emma said. I have dated some jerks too, but I think I've never dated outside my race. Honestly, I don't even know if I would be open to that. I find black men to be very attractive. And so I kind of just like sticking with my own kind, and that's just me. That's just where I'm at. I don't think I would really like to date outside of my race. And I have another pet peeve. I think like in the back of my head, what happens that day he gets mad at me and he called me that name? He'd be like, "Oh, you blah blah blah," and then I would just flip my whole leg. Like I just think that would be an issue.
But what name?
If a
Is it
black
the
man
B word
called
or
you
the
that?
N word?
Would you flip if a black man called you that? If anybody called you that, or just if a white man?
Well, I
What's
would.
the name? What's the name?
Yeah, is it a B
The B
or
word.
or the N
The
word?
B word?
It would.
Word.
It doesn't matter. I don't give anybody that ability to call me names and we gonna be good. Like I don't roll like that. But no, like the N word, the N word. Like a black man ain't gonna call me that because he gonna be he probably won't think like that. But because there's so many races out there, when they get angry at us, that's the first thing that they say.
They
So
probably will call you that.
Come on now.
first of all, I'm not gonna be with anybody that feel like they need to call me names. That means we are not compatible. We are not meant to be together. So that's not even an issue for me. It's just that when we get angry at each other or you get mad at me and that comes out of your mouth, that's like my fear because I just would be like, I think I would just black out. Like, no, that's not cool.
I think that it's not so much that the name they call you, the fact that they're calling names. Like I would be fired up if you called me a waterhead. You understand what I'm saying?
No,
like you can't call me that. You can't call me that.
Nah, let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100.
Listen,
all across America. Soon as people look at all these cameras, what's the first thing come out their mouth? It's just real. It's just like a common thing, and it's so common to some other people. Not everybody,
But
not everybody of other races,
no
but it's
matter
very common to do that.
Name calling is wrong no matter what the name.
I get that. We know that, but is it happening? It's happening every day. Every time you run into a Karen, that's the first thing come out her mouth. You run into her husband, Karen's husband, that's the first thing come out his mouth.
Karen, Kevin.
Well, I would think
My father named Kevin.
No, okay. Not that, not Kevin. George, let's say George.
if it's somebody that you're dating, that they would be more considerate of that, not to call you, especially the N word or whatever else. I would think they would be more considerate not to call you that if they love you. So that's something that, and he probably don't even see that if he's dating you. He probably don't even see you being, you
The
know,
N-word.
or a black woman. He probably just see you for who you are.
Things come out.
I think you guys are saying that people that might date you don't see color, and I don't think that's true.
Well,
Nothing about this world says that. I don't believe that's
Now,
true.
I believe they see color, but I believe that color don't matter.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's not that I don't see color. It's that color don't matter. You believe red like I believe red.
That's it.
You responsible for your sins like I'm responsible for my sins. You're expected to pick up the check like I expect you to pick up the check. You understand what I'm saying? No matter what color it is, as long as your money is green and your behavior is right. You see what I'm saying? So I know what color you are. I definitely know. Like I'm not going to go to no, I'm not going to go to no squash game, but I'm open to that. You understand what I'm saying?
And I agree. I kind of agree. I feel like if another nationality or another culture is going to date a black woman, they see color, but to them, I don't feel like that prejudice is in them. Where if they were to get upset with you, it would differ from if they were still upset within their own culture and just having a back and forth dialogue. I don't know if it would necessarily go to degradation. I just feel as though it would just be heated as though a regular conversation. But true, I mean, Queen C, I understand that's a fear of yours. So I understand what you're saying.
You're entitled to that.
Well,
Right.
there's this very popular movie with she's I just had her name in my head. Beautiful young, beautiful black woman, short haircut, and she dates this white guy, and it's back in the day, and she ends up going out with him a couple of times, and she gets pregnant by him. You guys know who Halle Berry.
Oh, okay.
Halle Berry. And so she has this. So what happens is she has these different personalities. So she suppresses they don't know why she has these different personalities, but it's because she dated this white guy. And at that time, it was not accepted. But even though he dated her, I'm getting to my point, even though he dated her and she got pregnant by him, he never acknowledged him to his family, to anybody. She was kept a secret because in that time, now you say, okay, color doesn't matter. So he should have just been man enough to say, hey, listen, I'm with her, I like her, whatever. Every time his family was around, it was like she was the maid's daughter. And that's that.
And what was that you saw?
You talking about Imitations of Life?
I'm sorry, say it again, Emma.
I said, what was that you saw?
Is it
I don't know, it was a movie with...
A movie, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, well...
It wasn't real life.
I'm sure back in the day when prejudice was very prevalent in America, I'm sure there was some people, I've seen couples that actually fell in love during that time, and they had a very difficult journey. So
Exactly.
that doesn't mean that they didn't fall in love with each other.
We're talking about something a little futuristic, like now.
Okay, what? What I'm saying is very futuristic because I believe that those same feelings don't always go away. Just because we don't say it now, that doesn't mean they don't exist. That's all I'm saying.
I believe that too. I believe that those feelings do still exist. I believe that people still depict you according to your color. It's evident in the news feeds of things that's going on right now in the news and things of that nature. However, if you're in a relationship, then to me that should not be a part of the makeup of the relationship.
I hope not.
And if you're in a relationship with a person of a different color and you fear that they're going to call you the N word, then that's not a relationship to me.
Right, and then
you
all
gotta,
at the same time, I don't know how. Just like Queen Emma said, that was a movie, because all at the same time, how can anyone let someone treat them that way? And after
exactly.
all, they had a kid and the whole nine, and you remain with someone treating
exactly
you in that way. I don't think that's realistic.
Well, it is very realistic. I'm not gonna go back and forth with it, but if you look at those times, it was forbidden for white men to date black women. That don't mean that they didn't like black women. It was just forbidden by society for that to happen. So that's why.
What time frame was this? What year?
What that this? Queen Ty, I don't really know that. I don't think that's really irrelevant. Just understand that was a time when it was very forbidden for blacks and white to date. So my point. So
about 1921 or.
But the point that we was making is that he liked her and he could still be with her enough to sleep with her and have a kid with her and yet still deny her. That's the point of the message, that there was still
it's black men that like you well enough to sleep with you and won't name you. So that's not cultural. That's a man. I know of relationships where a guy dated this girl, but she couldn't come around his family. You know, he wouldn't let it be known. If he saw her on Broad Market, he wouldn't part his lips. But she allowed that behavior. In the bedroom, they was lovers like that. But on the street,
well, I don't know who having those kind of relationships.
But I'm saying it happens even today. You understand? It happens.
Now, in who world? Who is allowing that?
That does happen though today.
It does.
Well, I would say that, okay, so when Queen T was talking about maybe something that took place in the early 50s or whatever the case may be, then, you know, that right there is blatant discrimination and racism, because there was a black and white type film. Once again, a film, but I'm sure a lot of times we know of situations back in the day where a white guy got a black woman pregnant and didn't claim or didn't even make the connection that he had anything to do with it. Then we got our today deadbeat dads that have their relationships with people and don't claim, and you got the absentee fathers, and you got those type situations too. But see, that's a cultural thing, because in our culture we're used to absentee fathers. That is something that's more prevalent in our culture than it is in any other culture. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. But there is one in the same. It's not one and the same to me. They're completely different. But I think it speaks volumes to Queen T speaking it, because that's a fear. So she's holding on to that message from that show, because that right there is speaking to her internally, which could be a block for her allowing herself to date outside her race. So my question to you, Queen T, okay, with all of that said and all of that going on now, and then because Queen T, she's a visualizer, she's a visionary. So when back in the day, you know, when they would have on television shows, and you will always see commercials with white women and black men. Only recently, within the last year and a half or two, maybe three, I could stretch, you're starting to see black women with white men in commercials. That wasn't always the case. And you know how I feel about how the TV and media push their agendas, and how they wanted to get, it first starts on that screen, and it's what they want you to accept in your vision as being approved and okay. And that's how they push their agendas on every topic whatsoever, however it be. So with that being said, and you're seeing all of these different images and black women with white men, and you're starting to see it more. Is that something that you ever considered, Queen T, as outside of maybe not Caucasian, but Spanish,
Right.
Caribbean, or Dominican Republic? Like, have you ever thought about expanding your dating pilot to other cultures? Have you ever
Dominican, not the Dominican
considered it?
Republic. You don't want her to date the whole country.
Well, I'm gonna say
Not
just like
Dominican Republic.
I'm just giving her some different options here.
I'm gonna say like Queen Emma. I have never dated outside of my race. It is something that I'm not gonna say like I've never had the opportunity to do that, but I never met anyone where I was able to have that type of situation with. However, it's just not something that I would choose to do. That's just me. I'd rather stick with what I like, and I know what I like, So I'm not saying that you can't find a good Spanish guy or a good Caucasian guy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying from Emma, don't be trying to come for me. Like, oh, you've been limiting yourself. Listen, I like what I like, and at the end of the day, I mean, I wouldn't choose to date outside my race, but I'm not limiting myself. Like, oh, if I met somebody and he was nice, I wouldn't give him an opportunity to talk and things like that, just to get to know that person to see what they're about. But I really just like sticking with my brothers. That's just me.
All right, Queen Nah, come on.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you. I'm sorry, Nah, because I'm just curious, real quick. So you wouldn't date someone that's Jamaican or someone that's they are black, but they're just not from America. So you wouldn't date someone like that?
No, I never said that. I mean, we're not the same, but you don't know we're not the same unless you talk to him. He's like, hey, mom.
Okay.
Yeah,
no offense to nobody, but I'm just saying, like,
right.
You don't know that he ain't like me. He could. It's a lot of.
No matter what.
It's a lot of other nationalities that look just like us, but they're not us, and they are Americanized because they was born here, they were raised here, so they don't have some of those older ways. I'm just saying. So you don't really know.
Yeah. So,
but no, I'm not limiting myself like that. I'm just saying like he got to be Black African American. I'm not limiting myself like that, but I'm just saying. I just like
what I like about Nye age group. Nye hangs out with not only her color. Nye has a rainbow or coalition of friends that she hang out with. So I'm just curious about Nye.
Oh, would you see me on social media or you saw me in person with them? Okay, now we're going to get back, and I'm not talking about my friends. We're going to get back to the dating portion of it. Me, I'm not dating outside of my race, period. When I say my race, I mean, I'm not dating someone that's not Black. You could be Black Asian, you could be Black African, you could be Black Jamaican, you could be Black, anything Black. But I'm not dating outside my race. That's just
me. Nice.
Love on your own people. I mean, it is what it is. That's how I feel. We went through too much hell to date anybody else. That's how I feel personally. But like my friends, but I have friends. Y'all know I have friends. I have god sisters that are white. I have my best friend, she's Spanish. And I have a whole lot of other friends that are everything else. And if they want to date somebody else, if they want to date a Black man, that's fine. My best friend's child's father is Black. So that means she has a Black child. I have no problems with that. I have people in my family that's mixed all different races. I have no problem with, people loving on each other. But me personally, I'm not dating nobody but a Black person. And that's just how I feel.
It's funny because I felt that way for the past 50 and some odd years. I'm not saying all that, but I felt that way for the longest, but I feel like if we're not getting that same respect from our counterparts, then why should we stay so committed to our Black men because they're not as committed to us? I won't say the whole or all of them.
That's
but
right.
aren't committed to us as we are committed to them.
Are you saying because there's some black men out here that do not want to date black women at all? That's their problem. They came from a black woman. That's ridiculous.
And not only that, not only the ones that now I've been in like the professional arena, where it be sports or whatever, and I've seen and been back behind stage, and I've seen our brothers come out with women other than our color. And I used to sit back and like shake my head like I can't believe this. Like I cannot believe this. You have so many black women that are out here, but yet and still they're coming out with other race. That used to bother me so much. But I had to sit back and like, okay, I guess that's what they want. But then a lot of people say, well, they're not in that arena.
Isn't that
a lot of black women aren't in that type of arena? That's all you see is Caucasians or whatever else in that professional arena. Like they, I guess the status, whatever status that is, as far as the ones that are making the money, you don't see a lot of us around that.
So can that be the same thing like what Queen Tan said? That's the agenda. That's the point, to make sure we're not in those arenas so that we can date men of that status, or maybe that's the agenda where, you know, when you're in those type of professions and this what you do, this is what success looks like.
Well, I get that, but then again, there's not a lot of us in that, you know, that's successful in that higher ranking pay status.
Okay, so let's say like since we've already established that, let's keep this on a regular African American black girl, you know, middle class women that we are, because I haven't talked to like very famous people to determine why they will or will not date women of their race, or really famous like basketball players or football players or actors or, you know, scientists, whatever it is that's not dating. But why is the average black man, how does the average black man feel? Do you guys know if any regular John Doe live next door to you, go to your same school, you know, in your same circle, that won't date outside of their race?
You haven't been in that arena. I have.
Excuse me, boo.
And no, I'm just saying.
Sorry.
And I'm just saying.
I don't hang out with the stars.
I'm saying, but I'm just saying.
Let me back up.
Stop, Emma. I'm just saying that I've seen it in that arena, and I'm not going to say all of the professionals are dating outside their race, but majority are. So that's what I'm saying. So it's not only at the level at we're at, it's at a higher level as well.
Well, wait. I gotta go back, because you're talking about it's not a lot of women in that status per se. That can't be, you can't, because let's take a famous person, Tiger Woods, who dated a woman and married a woman who was not of the same status as him. So what do you mean? You can be the woman anywhere. She don't have to what if she's if she's not like a, what are you saying? Like if she's not like a cheerleader and he's like a football player. Well, I know they see black girls in college, and you know, everywhere they go, they see black women.
Right.
Well, according to them, no, not necessarily, because if they're living in a different environment than what the average black woman or whatever are living in, like some of them are in Beverly Hills. Who do you see a lot of time in Beverly Hills?
I think you narrow-minded. I just don't see it like that. I don't see it like that.
Not me being narrow-minded. I have seen it. I've seen it. So
because there are a lot of professional black women.
Yes, it is.
A lot of professional black women.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that has gone in that arena, like sports. for instance, sports. Like if you go behind the scenes in sports, I haven't seen a lot of us behind that arena. I've seen a lot of them behind that arena. So it's like whoever, I guess whoever like attach themselves to them is where they flow. I haven't seen a lot of
Yeah, them good gold diggers.
going
Them
up.
good gold diggers. Yeah.
There you go. That it goes back to the gold diggers and what I don't know. I don't
I just want to
know
bring up something
why,
that's have nothing to do with what y'all talking about. I don't know if y'all.
Queen, I always go off the subject.
Well,
Now
we
she gets blocked out. See that?
Not on purpose, but there's a show called Love is Blind. And basically you don't see your partner, you guys fall in love through conversation and everything, and then you guys get married. There's literally a couple that I adore. There's a man named Cameron, he's a white man, white side. There's a black girl named Lauren. Although she's black and he's white, she even brought it up, like, I never found I'm still a black woman, I still black power, whatever. And they're just a good fit. They look beautiful. I have no problem with it. He's a white man, she's a black woman, and they're married. And they actually
I agree.
I
agree.
I have no problem with that, but that's just not me. So love is beautiful and all shapes and colors and whatever y'all want to say. But I think we should marry our own. That's my personal opinion.
But why do you feel that way now?
I just said it 1,000 times.
Right.
I said it in the beginning.
Queen Ty.
No, I'm not saying just for you, because you said that's your preference.
I said the reason too.
So what was the reason again? Maybe I missed it. Huh?
You gotta watch the replay, Ty. You gotta watch it.
Wait. I want to talk about something. I want to talk about community building. Because Thais said, like, Queen Ty was like, I used to feel that way, but I don't feel that way no more. My question to you, Queen Ty, is going to be like, where did you change? But I don't feel like it's a loyalty thing. I don't think like we're loyal to them. I don't think that's what it is. I don't think it's a loyalty thing. It's just a preference thing.
No, it's a preference thing for me too. I mean, I'm not gonna say that if a guy come my way, I'm gonna turn him down because he's my color. Like, no, because I've not yet dated outside my race since then. I've not yet dated, but I said I'm open to it. I didn't say I changed completely. I said I'm more open to it than I was before.
Okay. Well, you know what? But I want to look at it, the community aspect of it. I think that if we as a people would have joined forces together in relationships, and then we had children, especially our men that have money, we could have built wonderful communities. Now our money, when you look at the Black Wall Street, that money circulated within this community for days before it ever went outside of the community, because they were a unit and they stuck together. So it's the same thing like now. We have our men that make a lot of money, even some of our women that make a lot of money, and they go outside of the race and they have families and children, and they're not building that powerful community that we could actually build if we stuck together. So that's another thing for me. So it's not just how I feel. It's not just a personal thing. I just feel like strong Black kings and strong Black queens can build strong little kings and queens.
I could agree with that, because outside of our race, there's all the cultures they
stick together.
They stick together. Like my friend, I had friends growing up, period, all different races, but like there was like Haitian, they were Haitian, and although they only had like a 2-bedroom apartment, they all had the whole family in there, and then they all saved their money and then got a house together. I got people in my family, people have going on and past, and we can't even get the house together and just try to get.
That's true, now. Absolutely, 100% true.
Not Haitian, but this.
You said it best. You said it best. They stick together.
Yeah.
We have not stuck together since we were back in the slavery days. if you notice, back in slavery days, the black man was still sneaking off with the white woman. So that has been happening for a very long time. And I guess they look at it as a forbidden fruit or whatever they want to call it.
No, the slave owners was having sex.
I was about to say, I disagree with you, Todd. Yes, yes,
both,
yes.
both.
And
So-
their women were having sex with our men.
But
So
we was more so, the black women was more so forced to do it.
that's different.
And the black men was when they were sleeping with their with the white women or whatever you want to call it. But
Or was the white women they was more in authority and they put it on them? Which way was it? We don't know. Because you know how basically she was in that house, she got tired of her slave owner husband, and then she went around with them slave. He looking all good in the field, he all buffed up. So how you know which way it really went?
yeah, we don't know. But I guess as far as how they portrayed it, that's how they portrayed it then.
That's true.
And I think a lot of this have to do with image. What we are certain things that we believe, certain things that we think come from the images that are always given to us. Like Queen Tan said, television. When you're in that field and you're into sports, whatever comes with that, like whatever the agenda is with that, that's what you fall into. Like certain things. I just think it's like what is fed to the people that like dictates the way you think about it, the way you respond. So I don't know. I just think that has a lot to do with everything.
Do anybody know why certain black men say they do not want to date black women? I have a friend that literally said he don't like to hear talk back. Like basically his white girlfriend, she doesn't talk back to him. That's the only feedback I got from him personally. Do y'all know?
I've also heard submission. They feel like all the cultures submit better or submit period versus our culture. Our culture is a little strong and kind of like I don't know, kind of what Queen T said too, boisterous. Like we're gonna tell you our opinion, and we're gonna feel passionate about how we feel and things of that nature. But once again, though, I honestly agree with Queen T too. It's kind of putting us all in a box. Like if you feel that way, if you've encountered one or two or three or four, whatever the case may be, or even the women in your family that you have experienced, and you're like, yeah, I love my family, but I want different, or I want to experience different, because I feel like maybe another culture submit, another culture don't back talk, and I'll be able to build more. I've known personally of a gentleman that dealt with the other culture because of her credit. And right now he has a house, and he has 2 houses, and he's a few businesses and things of that nature, because this is just, he feels as though that is how he can build, or how he could, build his empire. So I mean, it could be so many different reasons, but like Queen T, I hold on to it with you too. Although I don't necessarily mind our Black brothers going outside of their race, but I quite frankly feel like we could come together despite that and still build a community where our money can surface and circulate amongst each other, and we build a society and a community where we invest in our own. I feel as though, despite who you're dating or your preference of that nature, that right there is a unity of mind and us coming together in our culture and knowing that it's time to do better and not allowing that systematic racism that was implanted from the very beginning, those seeds. You got to overcome that. At some point, when do we let go? I'm tired of holding on to our forefathers and those generations of the past, even though I know it's where we are today. But when does it change? When do we get in our mind that we're going to build and do better than our forefathers and our ancestors, and build better for our little Black daughters and our Black sons, so we can invest and have equity for them in the future, or build some type of long wealth for them, and create that for them, and not hold on to the white man or what happened in the past. Like we got to move forward. We got to move forward.
Well
When do we
said.
come together to move forward?
That's right. Well said, well said. And you know, I have a lot of friends that are like Indians, and as we know them to be, and they do not normally date outside of their race. If it happens, they'll be like I've talked to a few that's like, well, yeah, if my cousin want to date this black girl, then they will, we it's okay, but it's not their norm,
Yeah.
especially the older ones. That's not their norm to date outside of their race.
It's funny you mentioned that because there was actually a boy that when I was growing up, he was his father owned the corner store. He was Indian, and basically his father had arranged marriage for him already. His brother had already got married. They do like
There it is.
he really adored me. Like his father realized that, and it came to the point that he actually came to my grandmother's house because it was like around the corner from my grandmother's house, and he said, "Oh, I have arranged marriage. I hope you don't think my son is going to get any serious with your granddaughter." In my head, I'm like, I don't like this boy, but he just had to make it clear because it was like he really adored me. He was crying and he had a whole fit with his father. But years later, he's like, "Yeah, I really did get married and stuff." And it was interesting that they literally have arranged marriages. And
They do. They
Most
do.
of them
Yeah, they
Most
do.
of them already have arranged marriage.
Absolutely. They're
Yeah,
breeding.
about that
They're
though.
literally breeding their children for one another and keeping and making sure, like, that family has a certain amount of wealth to match that family's wealth and they can maintain the lifestyle that they built for their daughter or their son. Like, that's
Mormons
literally,
are like that too. Mormons are
yeah,
like that, from what I
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
There's a lot of races don't date outside
Absolutely.
of their race, except ours. That's the most acceptable one. But then
Mm.
that's a continual breakdown of the black family.
Hello?
Continual breakdown.
It's true.
But and I
It's
mean,
true.
we can't control, like we talked about this, who loves who and who fall in love with who. But sometimes we know it's a systematic thing. We know, and that whole voiceful thing, that's like putting us all in a box. We all are not the same. And what I found out is that I know people that marry outside their race. And you know why they like those other women? Because they get to do what they want to do and they don't say nothing.
It could be it too. And once again, going back, because I was thinking about the kind of, how they're trying to exterminate our black man and our other culture. Because once you start to mix races, then you have the intertwining of breeds, and you don't have the purebred of African American. You don't have the purebred of a black person or purebred of a Caucasian, and that could be a little bit while some of the other cultures is losing it right now because they feel like their culture is phasing out.
That's right. That's right. The power of the black seed is powerful. They know the black seed of the man is very powerful.
Right.
So
Right.
as long as we can keep them separated, as long as we can keep the women at a higher tax bracket and put the men at a lower tax bracket, they'll never be able to find one that can provide for them everything that they need. So then they'll start looking at other cultures and other races to give them the lifestyle that we have told them they should have, that American dream, that house with the picket fence and the dog and the 4 kids. Like, yeah. So they'll start looking outside of their cultures. It's what the way it was set up to be.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I have some friends that are currently dating outside of their race. I have one girl that I went to college with. She's dating a black guy, and I have an African American girlfriend who's dating a guy outside of her race. And all of them seem to be very happy. All of them seem to. I'm not saying that they're perfect. I mean, we're close enough that, like any relationship, when the partner get on their nerve, they call me, we're having conversation. He'd be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill him," or "He made me bad." I mean, we have that girl talk conversation, but they are basically happy. And I think that when you're dating somebody, the key is to be happy. You have to be happy with yourself, and then and not wait for somebody else to make you happy, regardless of your
Right.
race.
Right.
Like I said, I've never dated outside of my race. And it's not like I'm not open to it. If I meet somebody that of a different culture, I'm not saying that I would date them. I'm not saying that I would not. But I think that in dating, regardless of what your race is, it's your personality and your spiritual closeness and, those things that you have in common. I expect somebody with a good job because I had a good job. You know, I expect somebody who drive their own car because I got my own car. I expect people with the same materialistic behaviors that I have. I expect somebody who trusts God and love God the same way that I do, you know. And I think that regardless of what your race is, it's what your spirit is to me that makes a difference. If you good on the inside, you could be orange as far as I'm concerned. You know, if you're a good person, you're a good person. I'm not saying I would date you, but I would get to know you first, you know, and I think that we have to all be open to that notion, at least, that you're open to being able to know a person before you judge them based solely on their color. You know, I can't date you because you purple, you know, but you don't know, that might be the best piece of purple chocolate that you ever get a chance with. You know what I'm saying?
Say it, say it. I know that's right. I know that's right.
Actually,
I have a question. Okay, go ahead.
do you think that's why our black men are more so marrying outside of the race because they feel as though the other cultures might give them a financial
A
have a
better opportunity, yeah. Hmm.
financial
That's one of the reasons.
yeah.
As Tansy mentioned a few of them, Queen Tans mentioned a few of them, but I do have a quick question because all of the women here who have children have sons. Did y'all ever care what y'all's sons brought home, or it just never was in your mind? It just didn't matter, right?
Not for me. Not for me.
Not for me.
I care.
I knew it.
I knew you would.
And I care myself. I
Except for your nephews.
For her nephews, yes, yes.
I mean, at the end of the day, he's an adult, and whatever his decision is, I'm not going to turn him away, or even a person that he decides to date. But I care, and I do express to him my point of view. Now, whether he takes it or not, but I care.
Well, I'm going to say that I don't care. I don't care. Number one, I know how I raised my sons. That's first of all. Secondly, and most importantly, I'm going to give you a great example. So my oldest son used to date this girl who she really didn't like me. I don't know why she didn't. She just didn't like me. From the crown of my head to the sole of my feet, she couldn't stand nothing about me. And we were having a discussion one day, and it came out that she didn't like me. And I said to her, you know, sweetheart, let me explain something to you. What you do for my son, I don't want to do. And what I do for my son, you can't do. So it doesn't matter to me. If he's happy, then I'm happy for him. I'm not going to I don't put myself in the middle of that craziness. You know, if she not abusive, she not drug induced, she not stealing his money. And I thank God I have raised my sons to look at those warning signs. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm not saying that my sons ain't never dated people that I'll be like, Lord, I don't know where she came from. You know, I don't know what happened. You know, God knows. Let me see if you woke. But I don't get into the middle of it. You understand? I don't get into the middle of it because what I do for my children, they can't do. And what they do, I don't want to do.
Well, you know what? I like to agree with you, Queen Emma, in the sense of finding someone who you are equally yoked with.
Exactly.
And your ideas and the things you want in life and your credit score, whatever that thing is, those things are that you find someone. My thing is, okay, I was raised I'm trying to find the proper words to say, but I was raised in a community that wasn't rich, should I say, very impoverished community. I come from that community. However, I knew the things I wanted out of life. I knew the things that I want to do in life, and I worked towards those goals. Now, I'm not saying I can't date someone who comes from that same similar background, but if his mind state is still the same, that wouldn't be an equally fit person for me,
right.
Even if he's black. Right. Even if he's black, he's not equally fit for me. So another thing with us dating is that we got to find people that we're equally fit with. And I just want to address something, Queen Ta.
Or white or Spanish or whatever. But
come on, girl. Go ahead. We're gonna raise you an offering. Baby.
I want to say, Queen Ta, on regards to what y'all was saying about someone who could help you out financially or be have the same financial goals. Now, this particular guy, you all heard about the story where this couple was getting their house appraised. Now, when the Black woman got it appraised, they didn't get offered that much for the house. But when she took all of her pictures and all of her belongings down, and it was just him, and he was Caucasian, oh, they got a phenomenal, price of appraisal value for the house. So the point is to say, yes, society has made it that way, where sometimes when you connect with a person of a different nationality, you have opportunities available to you that's not available to you if you was just a straight Black couple. So I just wanted to bring that out.
That's a good point. Very good point. And that points back to the systematic breakdown of what's going on, and how it's a constant thing that needs to be in our minds, unfortunately. But I do believe, definitely by faith, that we can overcome anything, with Christ that gives us strength. So despite all of that systematic breakdown and division and all that other stuff that they're still trying their hardest to hold on to, but it's slowly but surely breaking down in itself too. That those walls is coming down. Yes. They're fighting for it, but the walls is coming down, and it's up to us to grab hold of these opportunities that are presenting themselves, so it don't pass us by, so we can get a piece of that pie that is so due to us. Reparations. Hallelujah.
But the Bible says you have to be equally yoked. That's in the Bible. The Bible says you need to be equally yoked. It don't say you have to be the same race. It just says you have to be equally yoked.
That's right. And
that's to me what we need to be looking for in any relationship.
That's fine.
If you want your relationship to work, you have to be equally yoked. Not necessarily the same color, not the same height, not eat the same amount, just equally yoked.
Well, I want to just take it back to the Black community, just to say, just because you met some bad apples, and so have I, in the Black community, I don't mean there's no good apples. It's just we're looking for someone that we're not equally yoked with. We're dating people that might not be at the same level. So we have to find someone that's at the same level, that desire the same things we want the same things we want, and then maybe we can find great relationships.
And that might be another whole topic that we need to talk about, as far as being equally yoked, and how do you find somebody that is equally yoked, and why can't you find somebody that's equally yoked? That might be a good topic.
But the Bible says he who finds a wife finds a good thing. We need to stop looking for a man. We need to let a man find us. The Bible says he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Not he who finds a husband. He who finds a wife.
Yeah, that's right. He'll find me. But I keep hearing this credit thing. Y'all gotta find Black men who got good credit. There's Black men out here who has
good credit. Just like there's Black women out here with good credit. Exactly.
I mean, I hear what y'all talking about, these houses and stuff, but I have friends right now that has 800 credit scores and they're Black.
That's right.
African, of course.
That's right.
Black. So I don't like.
But you said they're African, of course.
But I'm Black and I got a decent credit score, so I'm just saying, and even if it wasn't so perfect my whole life, I'm still working on it. I'm still building it because it's something that I desire. Right. So I'm just saying, I don't mean that it's nobody out there like me who don't have the same desire.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Once again, equally yoked, because that's where you got to find somebody that's building either towards that or better, as what you have too, coming together. And making sure
we have to understand too, for years, Black people were not educated on the importance of good credit.
Talk about
That's it.
You understand?
That
wasn't important about us to have good credit. So then when you messed your credit up, then you learn, oh wow, I should have good credit. And you work on rebuilding or work on building
right.
Now that's something that we need to throw into our young kids,
Absolutely.
The importance of good credit, a good education, because you could be dumb as a doorknob, but if you got good credit, you could get a lot of stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can have PhDs up to Wazoobian, but you have $99 million worth of student loans, and you can't get 2 nickels to rub a dime.
That's it. That's right.
So good credit is very important.
Yeah, good credit is great, but unfortunately, I have some people right now in my family who parents take advantage of their children and put things in their name. So it's out of their control.
True. Come on now.
So he has not
Now,
always.
technically, they could press charges for that because that's fraud.
I know that's fraud. And no, it's
Fraud.
true.
You can press charges
It's
for
true.
Oh,
Because
laughing, but you gonna take your parents to court.
Take your mother to jail. You know,
For real.
go take your
Because
mother to
quite
jail 'cause
frankly,
you messed up your test.
you're doing your child a disservice because your child is trying to start off with a stable type of credit life or credit line, and here it is, you done messed it up because you done fraudulently put something in their name and they don't even know what's going on. Now they got to start off repairing instead of building. And that's a disservice, especially like Queen Emma said, it's not something that we're educated on, but it needs to be in the forefront. That's what you need to be instilling in your children, your nephews, your nieces, everybody, all of these children coming up. Because you were deprived of that information, so it should be in your primary list to educate them on that. Because I'm telling you, it's something that they have definitely. It was not of importance. And it wasn't importance either of your parents instilling it in you because they too was learning and trying to rebuild it.
Right.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother topic. Right.
But that's the beauty about age and growing older and growing wiser. And just because you're 30 or 40 or 50, that doesn't mean you're wise. But in life, in relationships, in credit, and whatever it is, in understanding and knowledge, you're growing. So we as a people have to look for mature people that's on your level to get the thing. And I know we talked about equally yoked, but I'm just saying it just goes to show, because a lot of things that we get knocked down for as a people, even as Black women, we know that some of these things we're just coming into understanding of now.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Oh, we're absolutely right. And I think it's our job to continue this education and change the narrative on how we are continuing to build our community. We got to do our part. If every individual person do their part, we can come together and have some goodness and do some things and create a legacy for our children and our children's children. And I think that's what's most important, creating a legacy for our children and our children's children, so they can continue on and do the same. Because when we're gone from here, what is your legacy? What are you leaving?
Right.
What is your mark on the world? Because life is but a breath. So when we leave here, what is your mark on this world? All right, kings and queens, we thank you so much for joining in with us on this discussion. We continue to ask you to step in here with us and support and give us your creative ideas. What is it you want to hear? We are welcoming your ideas and your questions at queensquarters@gmail.com. Please be sure you can DM us all of your communication. Follow, like, subscribe, comment, and share at all of our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And we thank you so much for it, QQ Royalty. We appreciate you. We love you. And next Wednesday, a new topic. We are in here with you, and we're going to just continue to build and go higher. And remember, what is your legacy? That's your question we leaving with you. What's your mark on this world? All right, we joining in this thing together, building our community one people at a time, one queen and king at a time. God bless you. We love you. Until next Wednesday.
We are powerful, strong, and rulers in our own right. There's a queen in you. There's a queen in me.